I used to think I was smart with money. I didn't buy expensive things, I wasn't into designer brands, and I never had credit card debt. But somehow, every month, my bank account looked the same, low. No big emergency. No major mistake. Just small things that added up. Then one day, I checked my bank statements. I saw a long list of tiny purchases, stuff I barely remembered buying. That's when it hit me. I wasn't spending too much on big things. I was slowly draining my money on little things that seemed harmless. So, I made a change. I didn't become a minimalist or stop enjoying life. I just started cutting out things that didn't truly add value. And that one decision helped me save more money, feel more focused, and actually start building wealth. Here are the 6 surprising things I stopped buying to make more money. Number 1. Emergency backups. I kept buying just in case. For a long time, I had a habit of buying backup items, just in case. A second phone charger, an extra water bottle, 2 of the same hoodie, extra batteries, even a second umbrella just in case I lost the first one. It felt smart at first. I thought I was being prepared. But over time, I realized I was spending money on things I didn't actually need, and often never used. These emergency backups added up fast. One $20 charger here, a $35 hoodie there. Over a year, I had spent hundreds on duplicates that sat in drawers, still in their boxes. The truth? I wasn't preparing. I was buying out of fear. I was scared of running out, being caught off guard, or not being ready. But most of those emergencies never came. Now, I follow a simple rule. If I already have one and it works, I don't buy another. If something breaks or gets lost, I'll deal with it when that happens. I also started using local buy-nothing groups or borrowing from friends for one-time needs. It saved money and space in my home. I've learned that true peace of mind doesn't come from having extras. It comes from trusting you'll figure things out when you need to. Less clutter, more cash. That's the new backup plan. Number 2. Self-help books I didn't apply. I used to love self-help books. Every time I felt stuck or unmotivated, I'd go online and order a new one. This book will fix everything, I'd think. I read books on habits, focus, morning routines, success, and mindset. My bookshelf looked impressive. But after a while, I noticed something. I kept reading, but nothing was changing. The truth was hard to admit. I was collecting ideas, not using them. I was spending $15 to $30 on each book, getting excited for a few days, and then going right back to my old habits. It felt productive to read, but I was avoiding real action. I wanted to feel better, not actually do better. I learned something important. Buying self-help books doesn't equal personal growth. It only works if you apply the lessons. I was chasing motivation instead of action. Now, I've made a new rule. I don't buy a new self-help book until I've applied at least one idea from the last one. Not just reading, doing. If a book says wake up earlier, I try it. If it says track your habits, I do it for 7 days. If I can't commit to one action, I don't need another book. So I made a new rule. I can't buy a new book until I've finished the last one and used at least one idea from it in real life. This change saved me a lot of money and helped me get real results. I now read slower but grow faster. Some of the best lessons didn't come from reading 50 books. They came from applying one good idea well. So if you have a shelf full of advice, maybe it's time to stop buying and start doing. The next step isn't always in a new book. It's probably already on page 32 of the one you forgot. Books are powerful, but only if you use them. Number 3. Home decor that was for the vibe. I used to scroll through Pinterest and TikTok, saving photos of cozy, aesthetic rooms. Clean lines, soft lighting, plants everywhere. I wanted that vibe in my home, so I went shopping. I bought beige throw pillows, fake plants, gold trays, and candles I never lit. It all looked nice for a while, but soon, I felt like I was living in a showroom, not a real home. Even worse, I didn't feel happier. I had spent hundreds of dollars decorating, but something was missing. That's when I realized I wasn't buying things for comfort. I was buying them to copy a trend. It's easy to think that more decor equals better space. But for me, it became clutter. I was always adjusting, cleaning, and still feeling like it wasn't perfect. So I stopped decorating for the vibe and started choosing things with meaning. One special photo frame, a rug from a local market, a shelf I built myself. Suddenly, my home felt more me, and it cost way less. Now, I have a simple rule. If it doesn't tell a story or serve a real purpose, I don't buy it. I've saved hundreds since making that change. And honestly, my space feels calmer, more personal, and way more comfortable. Home should be a place that reflects you, not just a mood board. Number 4. Fancy groceries I never used. For a while, I was trying to eat better. I followed food bloggers, watched cooking videos, and made long grocery lists with things like chia seeds, almond flour, tahini, and spices I couldn't even pronounce. Every week, I'd spend $150 to $180 on groceries. My fridge looked full. But by the end of the week, I was throwing away half of it. The spinach wilted, the yogurt expired, and I never touched the frozen acai packets. The truth? I bought these things because they looked healthy, not because I actually used them. It felt good to shop like a health expert, but in real life, I was still eating basic meals. According to the USDA, the average person wastes about $1,500 worth of food every year. I was definitely part of that stat. So, I made a change. I stopped buying ingredients for the vibe and started planning meals I'd actually cook. I picked 3 easy meals and repeated them every few days. I only allowed 1 new item per week to try. Now, my grocery bills are lower. I waste almost nothing. And I still eat healthy, just without the pressure or the guilt. I learned that food doesn't have to be fancy to be good. Simple meals, real ingredients, and 0 waste? That's money well saved. Number 5. Productivity, gadgets that wasted my time. At one point, I had a whole drawer full of productivity tools. A fancy digital planner, a smart notebook that could scan to the cloud, a $60 habit tracker, even a timer that lit up like a rainbow to help me focus. I thought these tools would help me get more done. But after a few days, most of them ended up collecting dust. The truth is, I was spending money to feel productive, not to actually be productive. Every time I bought a new tool, it gave me a short burst of motivation. But that feeling didn't last. It's called productivity theater. We think we're getting things done because we have the gear. But without real habits, the tools don't matter. So I stopped buying stuff and focused on simple, free systems. I use Google Calendar, a free Notion board, and the Notes app on my phone. That's it. The biggest change came when I started tracking one thing, my energy, not just my time. I learned I'm more focused in the morning, so I do my hard work then. No expensive app taught me that, just paying attention. Since cutting out the gadgets, I've actually become more productive. No more distractions, no more overplanning. Sometimes the best tools are the ones you already have. Number 6. The illusion of starter packs. Every time I wanted to try something new, I thought I needed a starter pack. A gym bag, running shoes, wireless earbuds, and a water bottle before I even went on my first run. When I got interested in art, I bought sketchbooks, pencils, and a fancy tablet. I was ready for my new hobby, but never really got started. It took me a while to understand what was happening. I wasn't paying to do the thing. I was paying to feel ready. It's called preparatory spending. We buy stuff hoping it will give us motivation. But most of the time, that feeling fades fast. I looked back and saw a pattern. The hobbies that stuck? They started with what I already had. A free YouTube workout, drawing with a pen and paper, writing with a $2 notebook. Now I follow a new rule. Do it before you buy it. I give myself 48 hours to try something using what I already have. If I'm still interested, then I allow myself to spend a little, but only after proving I'll stick with it. This small change has saved me hundreds of dollars and a lot of clutter. No more abandoned hobby gear in the closet, just real progress on things I care about. You don't need a perfect setup to start. You just need to start. Money is about intention, not restriction. At first, I thought saving money meant giving things up. But I was wrong. I didn't stop buying these things to punish myself. I stopped because they weren't adding real value to my life. They took up space, time, and money, but gave me very little in return. Now, I spend more intentionally. And surprisingly, that simple shift helped me save more money and even enjoy the things I do by a lot more. The money I saved went toward things that truly mattered: investments, travel, starting a side project. My life feels lighter, but richer. You don't need to stop spending to grow your money. You just need to spend with purpose. So ask yourself, what are you buying out of habit, not intention? That answer might change everything. Now, if you want to learn how to achieve financial success, then watch this video next. If you made it to this point in the video, please like and subscribe to the channel to see more content like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.